So I think traveling with your significant other can be the most rewarding, the most amazing, and the most beautiful thing there is. And for that, I'm a little jelly. I'm a little jealous when I see cute little couples together, and I'm just like, oh my god, that is so, so sweet. On the other hand, traveling can be the demise of a relationship. It can be the nail in a coffin in your relationship. And in today's video, that's what I want to talk about. So if you're interested, please stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to Live, Love, Life, and Travel. This is your girl Shamika, and if you're new here, welcome. Just to let you know, I usually upload my videos out the week, and I talk about traveling, I talk about love, I talk about sex, I talk about mental, spiritual, physical, and emotional health. I talk about being black, I talk about everything else in between. So if you're interested, please hit that subscribe button. That was not confident at all, but please hit that subscribe button. Alright, okay. So like I said before, I think traveling with your significant other, your lover, your baby daddy, your husband for 20 years or whatever is like the most probably rewarding and beautiful thing you can do together. I really think that, and I cannot wait till I can do that with my future husband, wife, husbands, wives, whatever, I don't know, but it's gonna be amazing whenever I can do that. But I've also seen a recurring theme throughout my travel where people who've been together for years, newlywed relationships, BFFs just crumble to bits throughout their travels. And I want to talk about why I think that is. And first, let me start with the BFF thing, just best friends for life. Girls who went to high school together, who grew up in the same town together, who played Barbie dolls together, had sleepovers, and now they're like, you know what would be a great idea? Let's conquer Asia together. Sounds amazing. Bonnie and Clyde, you know what I mean? Like, let's take over the world. And they go out there and they realize it's not all peaches and cream. And the common argument I've traveled with BFFs that I've literally traveled with them and I saw the relationship literally just like crumble, and I've been the outsider and seen BFFs relationships fall apart. And a common complaint from one side or the other is you've changed and I don't fucking like it. What I think it is like I've mentioned in my other videos that when you travel, for me it was more like solo traveling, but when you travel period, you can either A, discover something about yourself that you didn't realize that was there, and usually it's a positive thing, sometimes it's a negative thing that you need to work on, or B, you're just able to now express who you truly are that you didn't feel comfortable doing back when you were at home, out of the fear of being judged or being wrong or whatever. And so when you come out here, you blossom, you become who you truly are, you truly want to be, who you always thought you are, you discover parts of yourself. And to the other person who felt like they knew you through and through, you've changed and they don't like it. And change for people are really scary, especially when it's your best friend, when you thought, I knew this person and now they're behaving in a way that I've never saw before. Even if it's a positive change, people do not like it. And I've experienced the same thing before. Like my BFF, like, you know, when they start going into a little tangent how they need to change their life and they want to do this, I always feel a little bit like, but I don't want you to change, because you feel like they're going to leave you behind, especially if it's a growth change, especially if it's, I need to be an adult more, I need to do this, I need to change my job, I need to be a better me, be a better version of me. The person that was your BFF, they feel like you're going to leave them behind, or you're going to be better than them, or you're going to be in a different caliber, and then you're not going to be their friends anymore. Like, it's that fear, and it's a selfish fear, it's a possessive fear. We don't want you to change, we want you to stay the same person because that's who we became friends with. So like I said, even if the change is for good, it's the other person still doesn't usually like it, and that's usually the number one catalyst of breaking up BFFs that I've seen, is that you've changed and I don't like it. And I've seen two people who said they grew up together and love each other, kind of break up and go their separate ways and travel. Not to say that they won't ever mend it later. They might go home and see each other and mend it, or the relationship just may transform into a different type of friendship. Maybe they won't be BFFs anymore. The other person can't no longer understand you or understand your point of view and isn't ready to accept it. So maybe it takes time, but for the moment, I've seen people literally like, okay, well, you go to Cambodia and I'm going to Australia. Like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. And it's sad, but I also feel like it's a part of growing, and it's also kind of a part of life. Like, I definitely don't have all my friends I had when I was in college. Like, a lot of them moved on and got families or just different paths of lives or whatever. But it's a part of growing up, but it's also sad to see people who once were embracing each other, I love each other, I love you, to like, I don't like you, get the fuck away from me, you've changed, you've changed, you've changed. So that's like the BFF. When it comes to romantic relationships, I feel like it's a different thing. And I'm going to do a short little story time, and it's not my story to tell, so I'm not going to say any names or anything like that. But I had a friend, and she was like a weak friend. She was not a weak friend, like weak, like breaking down, like a week-long friend. Like, we have friends like that when you travel. Like, you become someone's best friend for a week, and then you may never see them again, and that's just how traveling goes. So anyway, I was staying in a hostel. I was actually staying here, but I was staying in the hostel rooms, and she came and she immediately started telling me about like her boyfriend of 4 years. Like, he was French. I think he was French, and she was Brazilian, and she moved to France, and they started dating for 4 years, and now they're gonna do this big 3 to 4 month big travel shebang, and then they're gonna move to her hometown in Brazil because she misses her family, and they're gonna settle down. And I have seen that whole scenario happen so many times. And I always think it's a recipe for disaster. Like, let's have a lot of fun. Let's have all this fun in the world. And then let's all settle down and become boring adults and have babies and kids and stuff. Like, it's like, you can't show somebody, like, all the fun in the world and then say, like, okay, no more fun. Now come over here and get me pregnant. Like, it kind of freaks people out. But anyway, that was, like, that was a thing. And I've seen this happen so many times. And so, like, it was a serious 4-year relationship. It wasn't like a little thing where they just started dating and they thought it'd be cute to travel. Like, they were serious because they were thinking about settling down. And she was staying here, and he was staying at a masseuse school because he wanted to take massage classes while he was in Chiang Mai. And I thought it was a little weird, but I'm all for, like, I don't think couples have to be on each other's ass all the time. Like, if I travel with my significant other, I would not want that person to be up on me all the fucking time. Like, you go do your thing, I do my thing. Give me a chance to miss you. So that was fine. Anyway, a couple of days later, long story short, a couple of days later, he pretty much told her in so many words that I don't think I love you enough to give up my fun life, basically. Like, I don't think I want to settle down and have kids, and I don't think it's worth the sacrifice because that's not what I want. And maybe if you're someone else, I would sacrifice that for, but I just don't want to sacrifice whatever. Maybe it had nothing to do with her, and he just sort of worded it that way, which I thought it was kind of mean. Basically saying, like, if you were someone else, I might sacrifice my fun for that, but you're not. So I'm not ready to sacrifice that. I don't want to settle down. I don't want to have kids. I don't want to move to Brazil, blah, blah, blah. And whatever. Like, and she was crushed. She was really, 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 really crushed because she was blindsided. This was somebody she apparently, like, of course thought, like, this was going to be my husband and father of my children. And all of a sudden, I don't have that. All of a sudden, I'm in Thailand and I'm alone. And I encouraged her to continue her travels because I just did a video about traveling, mending broken hearts. But I encouraged her to continue her travels because I felt like, continue your travels. You'll probably find that you're stronger and better off for it. You know what I mean? Like, but she went home because she was too hurt, and so she ended up cutting her trip. She ended up cutting her trip short and going home to her family. And he, on the other hand, met another girl at the masseuse class and continued his travels with her. And that was another one of his reasons why I met someone else. I'm gonna continue my travels with her, which in any girl, any person would have been devastated by that. Like, you're traveling with your significant other, and it's this fun, great trip, and you're gonna go continue your life together, and then they break up with you and leave you with some bohemian hippie chick at the masseuse class. Don't ever let your husband take massage classes, ever. That's where all the sluts live. I'm telling you. I'm just kidding. That's basically the reason why I think a lot of romantic couples end up breaking up, because I've seen it time and time and time again when people are like, all right, so we've been together for this many years, and we're gonna have this one last big, we're young and let's have fun shebang before we all go work in cubicles and become boring adults and have babies and dogs and a house and die. Like, that would freak anybody out. Like, like, and I think before the couples usually go on a trip, I think they both kind of agree to that. Like, okay, yeah, you're right. We've been together for this many years. We're getting older. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's take this one last trip, and then we're gonna have babies, and we're gonna get married, and yeah, babe, let's all settle down and be adults, and blah 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 blah. But then once they start to travel, again, the same thing that I realized when I started traveling, that it's more to life than just settling down. There's more to life than just getting married and just kids and doing that whole thing and just slowly dying. Not that I'm saying getting married and having kids slowly dying. I'm just saying the way most Western America, Western world, or Western civilization treat it, that's kind of how it is. That's sort of the stereotype of getting married and having kids. Like, okay, your life is over. Doesn't necessarily mean that that's what it has to be. I've seen plenty of families travel. I love those type of families. But I'm saying in our culture, that's kind of how it goes. It's like you get married, you have kids, you get fat, you die. But I think what happens is that the guy goes on his travel trip with his girlfriend, and then he sees that there's more to life than just that. Wow, there's this whole world out there. There's all these people, these amazing people out there. These amazing experiences to be had. Why do I want to give that up to go do this? And I'm not saying it's only the guy who's usually the one who freaks out. I've only met these couples when it's the guy who freaks out. I've never met on the other side where there's the girl is like, oh, I don't want to have kids. It's usually the guy that's like, no, wait, nope, 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 nope. Put a break on that. I think I'm going to become a traveling bohemian. I'm sorry I don't want to be with you. Bye. So that's usually happens. That's usually happens. And I think it's because like it's just so much pressure. It's all this pressure to be like, we're going to do this, and then we get back, we have to have kids, we got to get married, we have to have a house, we got to get a career, we got to settle down, and it's scary. It freaks people out, especially when you just got to travel through Southeast Asia, and it's so relaxed and so bohemian. And a lot of, and I spoke this in my other video, one of my other videos, and I don't know if I uploaded it yet, about how a lot of people who travel long term are alternative thinkers. They're alternative thinkers on how to make money, how to live their lives, how to raise their children, how to have family, how to, what relationships are, what defines relationships, what defines success, all that stuff. Like vegans, vegetarians travel a lot. A lot of people who travel long term are alternative thinkers. And so when you get these really conservative, like 9-to-5 stick in the muds, who like, no offense, who think that life is supposed to be just played by the book and by these rules, when you get them around all these alternative thinkers, a lot of times they start to talk to other people. They start to go, wait, you mean there's another way to live? There's other alternatives. There's other paths in life. There's other things I can do. I don't have to do this. And then they start to compare it. Like, do I want to live free, or do I want this, or do I want to be settled down right now and get her pregnant and then happy dad and all that stuff? And they freak out, and they usually take the other side. They usually take the one that looks more fun and more free. Not that I'm saying that one side is better than the other. I'm just trying to put you in the mind of the guy usually. And I'm not saying it's just guys. I'm just saying that's the only type of situation I've ever run into. I've never run into the situation when the girl's like, nah, you go have kids, I'm good. I'm sure it happens. But yeah, usually they just sort of freak out, and they just like decide they don't want to do that anymore, and they run away with the bohemian masseuse girl and continue their travels in Cambodia somewhere. This video is getting so like annoyingly long, but I'm trying to cut it short. I think what else happens is, so I've heard before, like, you never really know a person until you get them in a situation where they're uncomfortable. When you get them in a situation that's not normal for them, out of their comfort zone. When you get them in stressful situations or whatever. And so, like, I wouldn't ever consider myself wanting to be with someone for life until I saw that part of them, because you never know. When you put someone in an uncomfortable, stressful, anxiety-ridden situation, they can either go either way. Like, they always say, like, that's when the true person comes out. Like, when you back them up against the wall, that's when their true character comes out. And so, a lot of times these couples go travel, and they haven't seen that part of them. They both, or one of them, haven't been in a situation where they felt uncomfortable, or where they're out of their comfort zone, or when they were pushed up against the wall, or when they were stressed. And travel can bring a lot of that. Travel isn't always easy. And so what happens sometimes is they see something in a partner that they never saw before, and they no longer like. Like oh, I didn't know that you had an anger problem, or you turned into a sniffling like crybaby every time something happens or something like that. Like they see something in a partner that they didn't like. And it can also be the opposite effect. You can see something in your partner that's amazing. Like, wow, I didn't know how courageous you were. Oh, I didn't know how quick you were on your feet. Or I didn't know how cunning you were, or whatever. Like, it can also be the opposite. And that's why I think that traveling with your partner can also be amazing, because not only do you get to experience these amazing, beautiful, crazy things, and you get to share it with somebody that you love and you make love too. But so that's amazing. But you also may get to get a chance to see a part of them that you didn't see before. That's also amazing, and it makes you fall in love with them even more. It makes you want to be with them even more. It makes you more sure that this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. And that's why sometimes I think it's amazing when people meet while they travel. I've also seen that happen. I've seen couples meet while they travel. I know a few couples that are still together today that met while they're traveling, and I know one that is married now. So, and I think because I feel like people are so open and their walls are down when you travel, I think you do get to see a part of them, their true selves sometimes. Sometimes not. Sometimes they're hiding. Sometimes they're just playing this traveling hippie role. But a lot of times I feel like people are more willing to show you who they are a lot more quicker than they are when they're just like back at home behind a cubicle, trying to climb the social ladder or whatever. So yeah, so I do think traveling with your mate and your BFF can be absolutely amazing, but it can also be the end and the demise of your relationship. So I just think, I don't know, I don't think people should be prepared for that. You shouldn't be like thinking of the negative, but it happens, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that as much as it hurts in the moment, I think it's just growth and it's just life. It just happens. That's what happens. And if that happens to you, like if you are traveling and something happens, I encourage you to continue your travels, because just like my last video where, yes, my ex-boyfriend broke my heart, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in Thailand. You know what I mean? And so like, there's still maybe a reason why you're here. So I encourage you to keep traveling if that happens to you. If you find yourself broken up with or split from your BFF during your travels, keep going. You're going to discover something about your life and about who you are that you may not have discovered yet thus far. So anyway, I know this video was long. It was way longer than I anticipated. I thought it was going to be like a really quick in and out video. Anyway, so thank you for listening. If you have any comments, please leave it in the comment section below. Sorry this sun is like disappearing behind the clouds right now. If you've ever experienced this during your travels, let us know, and let us know how you got over it, or if anything's ever like negatively happened to you, but that negative thing was a catalyst to something even better and even greater. Leave it in a comment section below. Share with all of us. Share this video if you want to share. It really helps, guys. If you want to continue to follow me on this crazy, beautiful game called life, please subscribe. And thank you from Live, Love, Life, and Travel.